Hey guys, it's Alex here, and I am back with Afan Lido. Um, I am quite a few years in the future though with this, and I haven't really uploaded in a long time. Um, well, yeah. So I told you I was going to do the live comms for the Europa Cup group games, and I did them, but I didn't really enjoy them that much, and I didn't like them, so I was going to just play through them all and update you afterwards. Except I kind of forgot to do the updating and went quite a few years. So this is going to be a big review to make it up. I think 3 or 4 years it is now in the future, just to go through everything. And then, but I won't be uploading for another week because I'm going on holiday. But then hopefully we'll go be back to Afan Lido. I've only really been playing them because I went off Football Manager for a while, but now I'm back. So. Uh, where do we stand? We were here right before Bala game. We won 3-0. I remember that. Callahan and Bowley. First group game, we had Dynamo Moscow 2-1 away. Quite. It was. I remember the live com. We scored first, which was a bit crazy from Callahan, but they scored shortly after to draw it up, and it was quite. Let's have a look. No, they had all the game, but quite disappointed that we conceded with 5 minutes to go to give us the first loss there. Um, we then went on to play Tom Petra, Walker, Callahan, Guthrie and Gibson. Port Talbot, we won 2-1. Alan Williams and Callahan. Then we had Leisure at home in the group stage. We drew 1-1 with them here. Stefan Saunders with our goal to tie it up after they made it a goal early on. But this game we really should have won. Even though they had more like sort of stats, we sort of the highlights were for us. If you know what I mean, you probably know because of like playing Football Manager what is. But yeah, that was a draw for us. But our first actual draw or points in the group stage of European competition. We had Sefton Druids next, 3-1. Llewellyn, Kieran Howard and Bowley. Carmarthen 4-0. Dale Morris, Glenn Muring, Guthrie and Josh Walters. Haverford West was 1-0. Alan Williams. Then we had Besiktas at home in the group. We lost 2-1 here. They scored two in the first half, Erkin and Sahan. But we got one back through Dale Lewis, but they just dominated us, really. Quite unfortunate. We lost that. Premier League Cup quarter-final, 3-2 versus Tom Petra. Muring, Gibson and Edwards. 4-0 versus Real. Llewellyn, Muring and Williams again. Then we had Besiktas again at home this time, and we lost 3-1 this time. They went up 2-0 quite early on. Walker pulled one back, but in the second half they got another and made it 3-1 there. Quite disappointing, but anyway. The semi-final versus Thanelli. Llewellyn got 2, Molyneux, Gibson and Callahan. 2-1 against Bangor, Ian Edwards and Dale Lewis. Then we had the Welsh Cup third round versus Carswas, maybe. I have no idea. Llewellyn, Gibson and Edwards. TNS, there's a 3-2 game here, quite a close game. Chapman, Bowley and Callahan gave us the win there. Kevin Phillips got their 2 goals. Let's have a look. Where is it? There we go. Then we had Dynamo Moscow at home, and we drew 2-2 against them. It was pretty good. A Glyn Bowley penalty, actually. We went up 1-0 from Jamie Young early on. They brought it back to 2-1, but then a penalty from Bowley made it 2-2 and gave us another point. Then we had Thanelli 2-1, Callahan and Gibson. 5-2 versus Airbus. Edwards with 2, Dale Lewis, Young and own goal. Tom Petra we scored and won 1-0 from Callahan. And then look at this, Leisure away, 3-0 win. Bowley got 2 and Gibson got 1 there. Bit crazy. Which showed we should have really won at home, but we got the 3-0, our first win in Europe, really, the group stages. But I think that was the end of the group. And if I look at that, oh, this is quite a few years on. There you go. We finished third, which isn't bad. Above Leisure, 5 points. Dynamo Moscow and Besiktas went through, 14 points and 9. We were quite way behind, but we got a win, which is I'm very happy with. So after that, we could focus completely on the league because at this point we were switching between teams. But we could focus on the league now. Bala 4-0, Gibson with a hat trick, Alan Williams, Port Talbot, Glenmuiring, Bowley, and Callaghan. Bridgen 4-1, Jamie Young scored, missed the penalty, got injured, and got a yellow. Graham Redfern scored, and Josh Doyle. 1-0, Stephen Druids, Callaghan. 3-0 versus Haverfordwest, Lewin, Bowley, Colin McCormack. Real was 2-1, Stefan Saunders and Gibson. Airbus was 2-0, Walker and Hillwood. Bridgend, we drew 0-0 here. It was really annoying that we couldn't win this game. We did dominate the game, but we couldn't get the finishing touch to it. 6-0 versus Presterton. Bowley with 4 goals, Hillwood and Saunders there. Go on to the next half of the year, kind of. The league, I mean. 1-0 versus Haverfordwest. 3-1 versus Bangor. Edwards 2 and Bowley with 1. Port Talbot we drew 1-1. Callaghan with our goal. The Nelly was 4-0. Bowley, Chapman, Walker and Bowden. Stephen Druids in the quarterfinals 4-1. Rory Davey, Redmond, Bowley and Muiring. TNS we lost 3-2 unfortunately. They took the lead from Conor Reddy. Gibson got back to us for 1-1. Then they took 2 goals really quickly. ML got 1 back, but we couldn't get that 3rd goal. So we lost 3-2 there. 3-0 versus Haverfordwest. Williams, Bowley and Edwards. 2-0 versus Bangor. Howard and Chapman. 7-3 versus Port Talbot, which is just ridiculous. I don't know how this happened. Saunders, Bowley hat-trick, Muiring and Anthony Shaw, who was a new young player coming through the ranks. This was back here. He had 5 appearances, 1 goal. Don't look at the other stuff. I can't really show you players at the moment because I'm so far ahead. They've changed and gone to places and whatnot. Port Talbot was 3-0. Stefan Saunders, Jean Hiller and Gibson with the goals. The Nelly 2-0. Grant Walker got 2. Bangor City Premier League Cup final. We won 2-0. Callaghan an own goal. TNS, the last game of the season, away 4-3. Look at this game. They took the lead 1-0 from Tom Lawrence. We got it back with Lewis. They scored with a new guy they got Chris Lopez da Silva. And then right after we drew back again to make it 2-2. Then we made it 3-2. Then Kevin Phillips made it 3-3. And then 92nd minute Walker with the winner to make it 4-3. Then we had the Welsh Cup final for Haverfordwest. Stefan Saunders and Josh Doyle gave us the win there. So in that league table stages, don't look. There we go. Oh balls. There we go. We won it. 86 points, 21 wins, 2 draws, 2 losses. Excuse me. 84 goals for, or 25 against, 86 points. Bridgend and Ton Pentra went down. But yeah, so I'm not going to show you the transfers because people have changed. I'll just go through all the transfers, no, all the fixtures, then all the transfers. Don't know how to do this actually. Okay, I'm just so far ahead. I'll go through the transfers. So at the end of that year, we actually bought a player for money from Coventry. Steve Nolan, an English left mid. We bought him from Coventry. And yeah, he looked very good. He was 5-star back then. We also brought in Ian Finlay from TNS. They brought him in from Blackburn, and then as soon as he started playing for them, we stole him. That year going out, just sort of 3 players, nothing really, anything important there. Go on to the next year, and we bring in quite, like, Ian Finlay counts there. Jack Dougal, we've sort of raided TNS. Jack Dougal comes in, Scottish centre-back. Chris Lopez da Silva comes in from them also. He did very well for them. This is when he signed for them, and then he came in for us. He used to play for Swansea. Also, he spent some more money. Alan Costigan, an Irish centre-back from Bristol Rovers, 5k on him. He's been a very good signing for us. And then we brought in quite a few players actually. Sammy Corley, English striker. Um, this was when we got quite a lot of money from the Europa League group stage. Ryan Rees, a Welsh striker, he came in as well. Marlon Arnold, an English centre mid, quite young actually, came in when he was 17, I think. He's 20 now. Wayne Anson, 5k from Bournemouth. He did very well for us the time he was here. We'll go on to that later. And then also a bit later on in the year, I think these are January transfers. Ken Boyce, an English goalkeeper, completely blew all my other keepers out of the water. He's from Chelsea. And then this guy, Elvis. Elvis has returned. Elvis Mangezi, a Zimbabwean striker who's done pretty well from us. He played in a few Brazilian clubs. Going out, Mark Jones left on a free. Just sort of freeze. Dale Morris, Liam Forrest, Tom Molyneux and Gibson and Ian Jenkins all went out on loan to Shelbourne that year. But yeah, so let's go on to the fixtures for this year coming up. So, 2020-2021 season. We had Glenavon in the qualification first leg. Chapman with 2. Glenavon second leg 3-0. Hillwood, Bowley, Callahan. Slovan Bratislava in the second round. Third qualifying round. 2-2 away, which was pretty good. Lewin an own goal, and then we won 1-0 at home through Corley, the new signing. Went to the league. Bala was 4-1. Tom Molyneux, Bowley, Lewis, and Edwards. Then we had Panathinaikos 2-2 at home. Lewin and Callahan. Beat Real 5-1 in between, even with a sent-off player. Bowley, Muring, and an own goal. Then we lost to Panathinaikos, unfortunately, 3-1. Got kicked out. That means this is the playoff, so we went straight into the group. But we had Preston before that, 5-3 this game was. Muring with 1, Bowley with 2, Corley and Gibson. Then Banger with 3-1, Corley with a hat-trick, just doing well for us early on. Then we had our group. So the first team we had in our group was Lazio, and we drew 1-1 at home with them, which was very good. They took the lead in the second half through Kozak, but Bowley got us a draw back to give us a good start. TNS we drew 3-3 with here. Let's see. Look, I remember this game because we scored 1, went 1-0 up. They brought 1-1. Then we made it 2-1, but then within 4 minutes it was 3 to them, and Gibson in 86th minute brought it back to 3-3, which was pretty good. Port Talbot's 4-0. Bowley, Rees, Edwards, and Walker. 4-1. We lost to Toulouse. They were in our group. They've got very good players. Hillwood with our only goal there. Thanelli, 3-1. Walker, Bowley, and Corley. Then Pontador in the Premier League Cup first round. Gibson, Guthrie, Rees. Seven Druids was Bowley, Lewis, Rees. We had Real Sociedad as the third team in our group, and we actually drew 1-1 away with them. They took the lead, and then straight after Costigan, I think, was his first goal for the club, with the goal there, which was really good. Carmarthen, quarter-final, won 3-1. ABBA, we won 2-1. Had Real Sociedad at home and drew 2-2. They took the lead both times, actually, and we got a late goal from Callahan. We got first goal from Chapman, but that did well also. Thanelli was 2-1. Real was 4-1. Lazio we drew 1-1 again with. Bowley with our goal and Adrian with theirs. So another draw there. Then we had Bala, we beat 2-0. New players coming through. No. 5-0 versus Callahan with a hat-trick and Edwards with 2. Preston 5-0 also, 2 in a row. And then we had Toulouse in the final game of the group and drew 0-0. So I'm pretty happy with that that group stage overall. If we look at the Group H now, it's the current seasons. There we go. We were somehow bottom, but I think that's because every team beat each other quite a few times. And we instead got 5 draws, which to be fair, I'm more happy with. We didn't lose. We only lost 1. We had a very tough group there. Look at those teams. They're very good. But I'm happy with that, actually. Now we can focus back on the league. 1-1 versus Banger. 4-2 versus Port Talbot, 2-0, 4-3, 2-0, 3-0, 3-0, 2-0, 3-0. Look at that. No goals conceded over 5 games there. 2-1 versus Airbus, 4th round of the Cup, 4-0 versus Bangor. On to the next half. 3-0, 4-1, 3-2. Another 3-3 draw with TNS this time. But look at this, this is even closer. We took the lead 1-0. No, they took the lead 1-0. We made it 1-1. Then they made it 2-1. And then 3-1. And I just threw it on attacking. Nolan gets us a goal. And then Bowley in the 90th minute gives us the draw, which is a bit crazy there. 5-1 in the Welsh Cup quarter-final. Callahan with 2, Bowley with 2, and Dougal. 6-3 versus Thanelli. A Lewin hat-trick. Ridian Rees and Corley. 5-1 versus Bangor. 5-0 versus Bala. Port Talbot was 3-2. Airbus was 3-2. Bangor was 4-2. And then we had Premier League Cup final versus Tinnerton. Destroyed them 4-0. Callahan with a hat-trick and Lewin with a... we just destroyed them. And then we had them for the last group game and beat them 4-2 as well. Bowley, Callahan with 2 and Walker. And then the Welsh Cup finals versus Thanelli, and we won 3-0. Chapman, Hillwood and Callahan penalty. So if we look at the group table for that year, 2020, 2021, I think that was, we did very well that year. Look at that. Only had 3 draws, no losses the entire year, an unbeaten season, 110 goals for, 37 against, 90 points. Stefan Druids and Real went down that year, but we did really well that year compared to the last year. We did got 4 points more, and the goal difference was significantly more in goals scored. So it's the transfers in the history. So for the next year, we got a lot more money actually, and we started to sign a few newer players actually. I'm trying to think about this. Okay, so first signing was actually, Andres Genovese, an Argentinian left mid, our first South American player. He came in for us, left mid, very good player. Also, Marcelo Angloma, a Guadeloupean / French. He is centre mid, defensive midfielder. Came in from Lyon on a free, which was very good. And then Sam Cook later on in November, young Welsh centre mid also. He came from Swansea. He's done very well for us too. Letting go, we had to get rid of a few big faces here. So I think this is actually we let go Colin McCormack, who sadly retired because he couldn't find work, along with Efren Guthrie, Jamie Young, and Rup Lesoko. They couldn't find teams after us. I'm quite gutted about them for leaving. Also, Matthew Waitley, the Beast, he went to Cork City on a free, but as you can see, he came back and he's playing for Haverford West. Did very well for them actually, but he left us, the Beast. Also, Kieran Howard, he left on a free to Tamworth. Now plays for Weymouth, and Tamworth, Solihull Motors, then Weymouth. And we actually sold some people now. Look, Les Ling went out for the first amount of money, 4.5k to Boreham Wood. I thought it was his time to go. Graham Redmond wasn't playing, gave him 3k to St Johnstone. Quite happy with that. And then loaned in Jenkins. And then at the end of the year, 2 more big players went out. Rory Davey went to Cork City, finally for 3k. And then Tom Montague also went to Cork City for 1.5k. They've just taken all our players. But them 2 had to leave. They were just not good enough anymore. But they're going to go through the fixtures of that season. This was a crazy year, this one was. So, just going to show you this first. FC Andorra, 13-0 at home. Genovese with his first start, and he got the first goal. And then I think Callahan decided, the new player's going to try and upstage me. Fuck him. I'm going to score 8 goals. It's just crazy. Look at that. 8. He got a hat-trick within 35 minutes, a double hat-trick at 80 minutes, and then got two more. He got a hat-trick within the last 10 minutes. And then Elvis was just like, yep, I want a hat-trick too. And Bowley came on as a sub and was like, oh, I want one too. Gave us the goal there. Look at their condition. 0.1 ratings for two of them there. A 1.8, 3.6 for the goalkeeper is actually pretty good. Callahan got a perfect 10 rating that game. Absolutely ridiculous. So that was 13-0. And then on the away leg, we just beat him 7-0. Callahan only getting 4 this time. I think he's quite disappointed. But he did get a hat-trick within 17 minutes. Dan Hillwood got 2 within 7 minutes, and then Genovese got another one also. So that gave us a 20-0 aggregate win, with Callahan scoring 12, which is insane. Then we had Olympiacos, which was a really tough draw for the qualifying third leg. We actually beat him 3-0 away, which is a bit insane. Callahan with 2 more, and Elvis with 1 also, gave us the win. We drew 2-2 at home. We actually went down 2-0 here. Nikolic and Luar, and Arnold was sent off, but we brought it back. A Muring penalty, and Callahan made it 2-2. Sent us through 5-2 on aggregate. Then we had Bangor City in the first game, beat them 5-0. Corley with 2, Rees with 2, and Hillwood with 1. Then we had CFR Cluj, who are a very good team in the Champions playoff leg. But we beat them 4-0 at home. I have no idea how. Callahan with another hat-trick, and Hillwood with 1 there. Then we had Bala, beat them 4-1. Saunders, Shaw, who was the young player coming through, Rees and Nolan. And then we lost 3-0 away. Look, we were 3-0 down within 33 minutes, and then just hung on for our lives. Like, they just destroyed us, but I'm so glad. 4-3 we went through there, and that means we actually got into the Champions League, which is insane. And I'll just come to that. But ABBA 4-0, Callahan with another hat-trick, and Elvis. Callahan's just going crazy this year. 5-1 versus Bala, Corley with the hat-trick, Nolan, Rees. But guess who we get in the Champions League? 3-0 loss versus Real Madrid to introduce us, with Roy Goossens, arguably the best player in the world. Look at those stats. They're ridiculous. It's just insane. So we had Real Madrid in one of our teams. Beat Everton West 2-1. Corley and Elvis. Port Talbot's 2-0. Corley. Dortmund we had in our group. We actually drew 2-2 at home with them. They took the lead early on, 15 minutes in. Hillwood got 1 back. Radic got another one to give him 2-1. And Chapman made it 2-2. So we drew 2-2 with Dortmund, which is a bit insane. Portsmouth came back 2-1. Hillwood and Costigan. And then 5-0 versus Barry. Rees with the hat-trick. Nolan. So like, as you can see, between the games, like if we look at... is it this? No, this... Yeah, look. Dortmund, you got all of these players here. David Holmes. Just look out for his name. He comes in like this year and the start of last year. That was amazing. He's just... And then Barry, the entire team basically changes. It's insane. Then we have Preston 5-1, Elvis hat-trick. And then we had Sporting for the last group. And they're a good team on this. Toto with 2 here. Get 2-0 loss at home. Quite disappointing, but they're a good team. Destroyed TNS 3-0. They're nothing anymore. Elvis with 2 and Lewin. 3-0 versus Bridgend. 3-0 versus Zanelli. And then 1-1 versus Sporting away, actually. It was a great draw there. 5 minutes in, we scored. So disappointed we couldn't hold on. But they drew it back. 1-1. Airbus in the Welsh Cup 4th round. We won 4-0. Premier League semi-final. 2-1 versus Thanelli. Bala, we drew 2-0. And this is probably the best result I've ever got on any Football Manager. Like I put this above anything else right now. But look at this. 2-1 versus Real Madrid at home. This is absolutely insane. Look, they dominate us. They took the lead through Makis Everett on 90th minute. I just had us on counter. I was like, oh, we're gonna lose. But then out of nowhere, Callahan just I'll show you the goals here. Oh, I'm holding up here. Got a bit of not responding now. Come on. There we go. Look, out of nowhere, he's injured as well. Holmes puts the ball through. Callahan, and then puts it past the keeper. I have no idea where that comes from. And then 11 minutes later, we got the ball again. Hiller on the ball. Plays it to... And look, the defender passes it straight to him. And I just went insane. And we just held on for those last 10 minutes. I made us time waste. I made substitutions. I just switched players in positions. Ridiculous. And we beat him 2-1. Our first win in the Champions League. And it was versus Real Madrid. Which is absolutely insane. Bangor was 2-0 after that. Crazy game. Carmarthen was 4-0. Corley with 4. ABBA was 3-0. Corley. And then we lost 2-1 to Dortmund, unfortunately. Elvis with our goal, but they too much for us. Which means in the Champions League, we did finish did finish bottom. 5 points. But look at that. Sporting and Dortmund were top with... the top two with 10 points. Real Madrid came third because of us, which is absolutely insane. But then we could focus on the league again. Airbus 5-1, Rees 4-0 versus Port Talbot. Haverfordwest 2-0, 2-0, 3-1, 3-0 versus TNS. They're nothing anymore. 3-0, 3-1 versus Carmarthen, and then 4-1 versus Carmarthen, 4-1 versus Thenay, and then Carmarthen again 4-0. This is when they come back into the league. They've been a long time out. 3-0 versus Bangor. 2-1 versus TNS. Haverfordwest 3-1. Thenelly 4-0. Haverfordwest 3-1. Carmarthen 6-0 again. Just casual 6-0. 4-0 versus, what's it called? Bangor. 6-0 in the semi-final versus Holyhead. I really like their badge though. Look at that badge. Look. Holyhead. A little B. I really like that badge. But we beat them 6-0. We kind of destroyed them. And David Holmes sent off. Nardiello, Thomas Griffin, a new young player, and Pickett, a young player. Wick, Muring, Mackenzie, and Bowley. And 3-0, 5-1, 4-0 versus TNS. Anthony Shaw with 2, Corley and Chapman. And then 5-1 versus TNS in the final. Genovese 2, Mackenzie, Callahan, and Hillwood. I will go through all the players actually at the end to show you like the team and stuff. But here we go. Into the history. The next year, we only brought in 2 players this year. This is actually the current year, so we've actually caught up now. Brought in Marcus Craig, a Danish striker. He looks quite good. He came in from FC Nordsjælland. Done very well for us this year. And also Tom Wiley from Sligo. He came in at January on a free. Irish young attacking mid, 19 years old. He had 5-star potential, but he got 4.5 now, but not bad. And then going out was quite a few players. Ian Edwards was released on a free. He's retired now, unfortunately. Couldn't find a club. David Gibson went to Carmarthen on a free. Didn't want to sign a contract with us, so he went to them. Done very well for them, actually. Dale Lewis, unfortunately, wasn't good enough anymore, so he went out for 4.5k to Hamilton. It did well for them, I think. Actually, they won the league. And really, look at this. Grant Walker went out to Dover for 4k. Oh, he was such a good player for us. Look at that. All those years of service. Bought him from Bangor as well. They didn't know what they had. And look at 8.09. That's ridiculous. But unfortunately, he wasn't good enough anymore. But look, he was 4k, and then he suddenly, because he's in England, he jumps up to 45k. And then just lots of frees. End of the year, well, actually, January, Wayne Anson went to Telford for 12k. Everyone was getting really interested, and I wasn't playing him. So I was like, sure, I'll offer him out, and they took. And now he's worth 60k because he's in England. And then just some loans. But this is going to be this year's fixture list, so I actually get up to date with it. There we go, friendly. Then we had Burkakara, 11-0. Elvis with 5 and Callahan with 5, just spreading the love. And not Callahan, Chapman with 1 there, just to get in on the act. So a bit insane there. I think these ones now are going to be the really easy ones because we're not big enough yet. We still have to go in through this stage. And the problem with signing people, we didn't sign many people. There's a lot of problem with work permits. We can't get work permits for people to go in with, to come in with, and people don't even want to come to us because we're not prestigious enough. But we have so much money. Look at this now, 2.44 million for the next year and 23.36k a week. We don't even do anything with that. It's insane. But yeah, away we won 6-0. Callahan with 5 and Mackenzie with 1 there, 17-0 on aggregate. Bit insane. We had Red Star, who are a very good team. Bloody hell, 0-0 away, but thankfully 5-2 at home. Muring, Mackenzie with 2 and Callahan with 2. Then we had Dynamo Bucharest, who are very good also. 2-2 here, which was actually quite bad that we were losing 2-2. Well, we drew 2-2 at home. They actually took the lead both times. Mackenzie and Callahan thankfully giving us the draw. We then had Banger 2-1, Dougal and Craig with his first goal, or Craig. Then we had Dino. Look at this game though, 2-1. They took the lead early on. I was like, oh shit, they were up 3-2 on aggregate. Elvis makes it 3-3 on aggregate, but they're going through on away goals. 71st minute, 92nd minute is own goal. I'll show you this. I was on overload. I had everyone up. I pushed so many people forward. I was just hoping that because I was like, we've had 1 year in the Champions League. I want a second one, and this is what happened. Mackenzie puts it to Nardiello, puts the ball in. I thought Muring scored the header, but it was an own goal, and we go through 4-3 on aggregate into the group stage again. But meanwhile, we had Stefan Druids 5-0, Haverfordwest with 3-0. And then, of course, we get another super giant, Man U. 3-0. They missed it. Our keeper saved a penalty, though. Boyce saved a penalty from Ahmed Abel Ghani. Just look at that. It's ridiculous. But they won 3-0 in the end. Quite just dominating. Carmarthen was 2-1. Beat Barry 8-0 this season. I have no idea how. Callahan with 4. Muring. Bowley with 2. And Genovese with 1 there. 3-1. We had Inter and we beat them 1-0 at home with a player sent off in the last 5 minutes. Craig with the first goal, and that was it. We just held on from then on. So we got a win there. Thanelli was 2-0. Chapman and an own goal. Talbot. Airbus 5-0. Zenit we lost 3-2 at home, unfortunately. Elvis with a goal early on. They brought it back to 1-1. Made it 2-1. Callahan made it 2-2, and then late on they made it 3-2, and we couldn't get it back. So very tough group again. ABBA was 3-0. Bowley and Rees 5-0 versus Sunbrun Celtic, maybe. Anglemar, Muring, Alan Williams, Cray, Steve Nolan. TNS 1-0 away. Bowley. Zenit we beat 2-0 away, which is a bit weird how we can play better away sometimes. Callahan with a goal in the first minute, and then Elvis 82nd minute gets us a goal. And then we beat Porth 11-0 at home in the World Cup third round. We were 8-0 up at half time. Bowley had 4, Nolan, Thomas Griffin, Rees with 2, and that was all in the first half. And then second half, Rees finished his penalty. Got 2 more actually, and Craig got 1 there, and we won 11-0, which is a bit insane. Then we had Thanelli 2-1, 5-0 versus Barry. Callahan with a hat trick. Banger was 3-1. Man U we lost 5-2. We were 4-0 down by half time. Brought it back to 4-2, but then they got 1 late on. But not bad, scoring 2 versus Man U. 6-0 versus Seven Druids, just to cheer us up. That was the group though, if we look. And if we look, we actually came third. We 6 points with Zenit, but we did beat them because we beat them. We lost 3-2, but we beat them 2-0. So overall, we scored 4 and they scored 3. So Man U went top. Inter, we only 1 point behind them actually. I forgot to show the last game. We lost 2-0 to Inter, which was quite disappointing. But yeah, we're actually going through to the Europa League from the first knockout round, which is great for us. Um, yeah, Inter, we lost we won 3-1, 2-0, and Preston 2-1. Blah blah blah. Zanelli was 3-0. Port Talbot was 3-0. ABBA was 3-0. TNS was 1-0. 2-0 versus Airbus. Preston was 4-1. Newtown was 4-0. Haverford West was 2-0. And obviously in the first knockout round we get Dortmund. We lost the first leg away 1-0. Grotzke, 79th minute. And then 4-1 versus Carmarthen in between. And then we lose 3-2 away, unfortunately. Callahan with Argo and Elvis, but they go through to that. So we got there, but it's alright. We got there. So it's progress. So then 5-0 versus Penrith, blah blah blah. Hat-trick there from Corley. 4-1 versus Banger. 2-0 versus Airbus. 3-0 versus TNS. 3-2 versus Banger. 5-1 versus Haverford West. 4-1 versus Carmarthen. Took us extra time to beat Sunbrun again. 2-0 Callahan and Costigan. 8-0 versus Airbus. Out of nowhere, just suddenly appears. Lopez de Fizil with 2. Corley with a hat-trick. Callahan with 2. And goalkeeper own goal. Which, I don't know where it comes from. Just suddenly they pop up. 1-0 versus TNS in the Premier League Cup final. With Ian Alfie sent off. Like, for most of the game. Look at that. 47 minutes gets sent off and Callahan scores. And then we just hold on to give us the win there. 5-1 versus TNS. With, this guy. Chris DeVault. He's just come in on the youth youth candidates. He's 15. He's now our youngest scorer and our youngest player, and the league's youngest thingamajig. Where was the game he scored before in? He scored in a game before. Was it? Is it Airbus? No, it wasn't Airbus. It was. I'm trying to find it now. Bulbs, I can't even find it now. TNS. Anyway. Yeah. Anyway. But we had our our new goalkeeper who came in, Sean Fowler. We had David Holmes, Anthony Shaw, Griffin, Williams, Chapman, Anglomar, Cook, Genovese, Corley and DeVault up front. He scores a hat-trick against TNS, who got up 2 in the second minute. They're like, oh, we'll win this. But we make it 5-1. Callahan also on the score sheet and Corley there. And then finally, 5-0 in the World Cup final versus Preston, who actually got there. But Craig got 4, and Mackenzie got 1 there also. Which is absolutely insane. So, that is everything really. Transfer-wise, actually. We have a player coming in. This looks quite good. Gianni Esposito. Uruguayan attacking mid right, centre and striker. Look at those. 16 finishing, only 19. Somehow didn't need a work permit, so I'm happy with that. But he looks to be very good. So if I run you through, let's say, awards for the... Well, actually, the league. Here we go. Look at this. League table, 96 points, 32 out of 32 wins. Insane. And I think... Did I show you the league year before? I didn't actually. 32 wins out of 32. 108 goals, 11 goals against, 97 goal difference, 96 points. Next year, we just score some more goals. It's insane. We're on a massive unbeaten streak now. We're just dominating. Stefan Druids and Barry get relegated this year. If we look at awards, actually, since the Kevin Phillips won it. I wanted to sign him, but he didn't. He was quite annoying. He was very good. Bowley then won the Player of the Year. Then this bullshit happened that Damien Wilcox won. We had 7 out of the 10 players on the shortlist, and we had 6 players above him for average rating, and they somehow vote him to win, which I call bullshit. It was like the Celtic thing when none of their players got voted for. And then Muring got the Player of the Year back. Um, Top goal scorer, 1920 was Forrester, then Taylor Hendry, Baverstock, and Colin Allen. We haven't really had our players like up there because of Europe. Like we have to rotate so much. Everyone gets goals. To be fair, Welsh Young Player of the Year, Kevin Phillips got it that year. Callahan got it the next year with 14 goals and 8 assists. Muring got it the next year, 9 goals, 19 assists. And then David Holmes, the right back. Look at that mustache, pedo mustache. And then Manager of the Year. I'm pissed. Look at this. No, we won it every year, and then bloody Neil Allison because Carmarthen came third. I'm so pissed. We destroyed. We got 100%, and he didn't. We didn't win, which is insane. But let's just go through the squad. Actually, I can like get you up to date with everyone. So let's. Well, how are we going to do this? Let's go position-wise. So we got Ken Boyce in goal, our English goalkeeper. He's 23. Came us from Chelsea. Had 3 good years with us now. He's a very good goalkeeper. Ian Finlay. He also came from us. He came from TNS actually after they came from Batfern. He's done well. He's the sort of backup keeper. He'll play in the league when Boyce is playing in Europe. Then we have got Costigan, who is now maybe our vice captain. He looks certain to take over captaincy for a moment. 5k from Bristol Rovers, and he's done very well. Look at that average rating, 7.81 last year. Done very well for us. Alan Williams is still here, our left and right back. He's been doing well. He's been here for a long time now. He's doing well. Anthony Shaw, he was a young player. He's only 20. He's coming through. He came from us. Yeah, look at that. He's starting to do very well for us now. So he's in rotation. This boy, David Holmes. Look at that. 5-star potential, right and left back. Look at those stats in mental. Look at that. 17 determination. He's a great player. Absolutely amazing. He came in the 2021 season and started 4 games and did really well. Next year, 22 games, 7.53 average rating. Next year, 39 games overall, 7.458 average rating. He's very good. He's attracted interest from Wigan Athletic in the Premier League. He attracts interest from like is there any on him at the moment? He's got Rangers at the moment. He's had Blackpool. He's had loads of people like look at him. Josh Doyle is still here, 29 now. I don't want to get rid of him. Look at that. I think he might be at the moment looking to try and get the most appearances, but I don't know. But he had 7 appearances and 7.33 average rating. Isn't bad. He's still a very good player for us, so I don't want to let him go. Rob Nardiello's still here, our English left back, 23 years old. From West Brom, he's still going on very well actually. He's still our main left back. Ian Lewin, he's here. He's one of our main centre backs from our own youth setup. Look at that, 7.78 rating this year. Very good. Stefan Saunders, he's sort of dropped off a bit. His rating has gone down. He's 22 now. Might be looking him to get him off the books soon, but he still plays very well for us. But coming from our youth system also. Jack Dougal, he's on loan. He's not doing that very well at the moment. He isn't playing as much, so he sent on loan to Salisbury. Even though he got 2 goals in 11 games, he's still, I don't know, just give him some experience because I wasn't playing him that much. Marcelo Anglomar, 23-year-old Guadeloupean. He's done very well in the games he's played. He's a very good player. Sam Cook, look at that, 4.5-star potential, 20. He's done well for us when he comes on. We got so many players. We have to switch like every game. Bjorn Hiller, he's done very well for us, but he is going to leave, unfortunately. He's just not getting played anymore. He's not good enough. So I'm going to let him leave. Hopefully get some money out of him. Dan Hillwood, still here. One of our first signings, like English signings from Chelsea. Still doing great. Look at that. He only has 10 games in the league, but he's got 23 overall. It's insane what Europe does to my team. Chapman's still here. Look at that, 24 now. He's definitely second fiddle to Muring. I'll show you him, but he still does well. Um, Steve Nolan also, he's sort of playing second fiddle to Genovese, but he still holds his own really when he comes on. 10 assists this year, doing very well. Marlon Arnold, he's sort of the backup to Cook. He does well. He does a job. He's sort of third, fourth string. Oh yeah, this guy. He came in last year, so the 2022 season. Ian Alfie. He's attracted interest from championship clubs also. 17 years old, 5-star potential. Look at that. 3.5-star current ability already. He's our best centre mid already. He came in first. He had a 7.4 rate on his first game. Played 25 games this year. 7.4 average rating. Still hasn't got a goal for us, unfortunately, but he's got 6 assists. He does pick up quite a few yellows and reds though, but he's an amazing player. He does so well for us, and he's only second year. Glenn Muring, very good player now. Very good player. Career stats, look at that. These past few years he's done amazing. Look at that. 11 goals, 30 assists. This year, 7 goals, 34 assists. He's broke Dale Lewis's record for assists in a season. He's just done very well for us. Genovese, also, he's done very well for us. Look at that. Coming on, doing a job, getting some good assists in. Most of our assists are down the right, to be fair. Lopez da Silva, the guy we bought from TNS right after they bought him. He's done pretty well for us, actually, when he comes on. Look at that. Got 8 goals this year and 5 assists. I'm very happy with him. He's a great backup. Onto the strikers. Elvis, obviously, 27 years. He's quite old. He's quite an old player when I signed him, actually, 25, 26. But he's done very well. Especially, look, he scored 2 in his first, 30 in 30 next season, 25 and 22 this season. It's insane. Ridian Rees, might be looking to get him out at the moment. We have too many strikers at the moment, but he's done a job. He's done very well. Hopefully I can get some money for him. Corley, our English striker, he's done very well for us. Look at those goals. That's all. He's our league scorer. Like, he scores all of his goals in the league. Then Callahan, or DeVault, actually, 15-year-old, insane. Look at that. 2 appearances, 4 goals. That's ridiculous. Callahan, just what else can I say? Look, he's got called up to the Welsh national team. It's our first call up. It was really annoying. Look, I'll show you this actually. Managers. There's this bastard called Elliot Churchill. He called him up once, and he scored on his debut, and then didn't call him up ever again. He'd always he'd call him up, but he wouldn't use him as a substitute and stuff. He'd be an unused substitute and wouldn't come. Then after the World Cup, where he missed out, the other guy resigns, and then whoever manages Wales now comes in, Kenny Jackett actually, and he starts with, look, 9 appearances, 3 goals for Wales. An Afan Lido player playing for Wales. And if you look at through these years, 21 goals, 28 goals, 36 goals, 40 goals. Just getting better and better. He is definitely on course to breaking records. He is. He's only 22 as well. Marcus Craig, definitely good for a first season. It was a lot of... He was sort of a second choice because I was looking for other players, but they didn't work permits and he didn't need one. But he's been very good this season. 23 goals in 18 appearances. He's done very well. Tom Wiley, he hasn't been playing as much because he's still attacking mid. We're training to be a centre mid. But he had 2 games, he got a goal. Well, 3 games, he got a goal. He looked quite good actually. And then Bowley, obviously, he's still here. He's 24, but he still does a job. Look, 2019, 18, 21 goals, 28 goals, 16 goals, 12 goals. He's still doing well. Just absolutely insane. Reserves in Jenkins and Emma Wick, they look to be leaving. Under 19s, if we look at assistant reports, we have some good players. Devoit, John Paul Bishop, he looks like a good centre mid. Could train him up. Sean Fowler, goalkeeper, haven't been given game time. Thomas Griffin, the one who scored, is good centre back. And then Josh Pickett also. done pretty well. And then down here, Ben Shreves, he did very well. He went on loan to ABBA this year and scored quite a few goals for them. But yeah, I'll just show you actually us now. So we go to just general info. Look at that. Glenn Bowling, Gallagher are legends along with me. Grant Walker's an icon. Look at that. 8.5 million estimated worth. Oh yeah, Josh Doyle is captain and Costigan is vice captain. Like it's insane. Oh, still though, we don't have much like people. Facilities though, look at that. I've been upgrading us every year now. Basic corporate facilities, good training, average youth, exceptional youth, junior coaching. We do have limited youth recruitment, but I don't really mind. Our youth anyway is amazing. And now we've won the Welsh Premier League Cup 8 times, the Welsh Cup 8 times, and the League 7 times. If we look at some records have been broken. Top goal scorer in the year, 40 for Callaghan. Bowley's got the league goal scorer, 8 in one game. Callaghan's got that now. Assists, Muring's got it. Average rating, Walker still has that. Shane Williams still has the most player of the matches. He's actually he got called up to Wales too. He's playing for Shamrock now. 31. But look at that. Glenn Bowley has the most league goals for the club, 115. Do we have? That's just player. Look at that, 115 goals. Youngest player, Christopher Voigt. Yeah, just insane. Team records, just biggest wins and everything. But the thing is though, if we look at Bowley, look how many goals he's got. He's got 115 in the league. But if we look at Callaghan, he's catching him up fast. Go back to Callaghan. He's catching him up fast. He is on 110. He's 5 goals behind him at the moment. So it looks like next season's going to be a big one for Callaghan. If you look, those are the goal scorers. Callaghan came third. Muring got average rating and assists. But look at that. 7 years in a row we've won the league now. So that was a massive, massive time for me to talk for. Jesus Christ. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this massive update. This has been such a good save I've been playing. I've been having so much fun with it. Like all these players coming in, like the youth players. I've been looking all the players we've released, like even like through youth and stuff, like leaving. They're just populating the league. So let's look at Haverfordwest. Look at their not their players. Just value. They got Johnny Grant. He played for us. He came from our youth system. Josh Robinson. He came from our youth system. Mark Parry came from our youth system. Just anyone else? Jack Christopher, he used to play for us. Matthew Waitley used to play for us. And then go to Carmarthen. Look at their squad. Let's have a look. Dale Morris, he used to play for us. Ross Matthews used to play for us. Bowen used to play for us. Gibson played for us. Mark Deeney played for us. They are players that just populating the league. Oh, Gibson's the vice captain. Good on him. But yeah, guys, I'm going to be gone for a week because I'm on holiday. But hopefully when I come back, I can get through another season this and actually do seasonal updates instead of like 4-year updates this time. But yeah, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this. It's been Alex, and I'll see you guys later.